What is going on? This is your boy George JC back again on the ATS report. What is going on, family? I know I've been away for a very long time. I apologize for being kind of inconsistent on this channel. I have had obligations to the Chicago Bears Breeze. That is the new channel that I am the host of under the Windy City Breeze umbrella. But I assure you guys, I'm going to get back on top of bringing out content weekly on this channel. You will see me get back into content making for the ATS report. Again, thank you for rocking with me. Continue to subscribe, share, and like this video. About 98% of you guys are not subscribed that are looking at this video. And I appreciate the views. I appreciate the dialogue, the comments, all the conversation we have all the time in the chat. But continue to subscribe. That is the best way to continue to grow this community. And as always, I will continue to do my part. I know I've been lagging for a minute, so I got to get back on my game. But the reason I'm on today is because we have breaking news with the Chicago Bulls. It is now being reported from the Chicago Bulls Twitter website. The injury update on Zach Lavine, who you saw go out recently with another foot injury, is now that he is going to be out for the season. He is undergoing surgery on his right foot. As the next step in his recovery process, Lavine will be out 4 to 6 months. So that's pretty much game over for the rest of the season, right? And initial thoughts, this doesn't surprise me. This is something that has kind of been laboring him for the past couple of injuries he's had. You know, some unfortunate mishaps with the foot injury. And maybe this is the reason why reports were coming out beforehand that the Bulls were going to stand pat at the come trade time at the trade deadline, because they kind of already probably knew that this was going to be the case with Zach Lavine. Zach Lavine was the main person that they were trying to trade off. You saw that there was a possible trade scenario in talks between the Bulls and the Detroit Pistons, whether or not the trade kind of started or hovered around Zach Lavine and a piece, maybe a Javon Carter or whoever else, to kind of solidify that deal. And then the Bulls would also get back Bojan Bogdanovic along with some other core young players. But I think the Detroit Pistons weren't really willing to let go of some of their really young core pieces that they want to build upon, such as Jaden Ivey, Jalen Durant, obviously Cade Cunningham, Azure Thompson was mentioned as well. And so I know the Bulls were looking into a trade like that. But of course, with this injury news, none of that is happening, and that's unfortunate, because you know that the Chicago Bulls were trying to go in a different direction as far as with his team. Zach Lavine has been the centerpiece of the Chicago Bulls for the last 4 to 5 seasons, and they've been trying to build around him to make a playoff team, a challenging, competitive playoff caliber team for some years now, and it just hasn't panned out. It hasn't worked out. Not taking away from Zach Lavine's talent at all, because he himself individually is a star, an all-star level player. You can see that he can score on all 3 levels. But when it comes time for trades, obviously a team wants someone who is particularly healthy. Even when Zach Lavine got traded to the Bulls, I think he was coming off a torn ACL and he had to recover. And so the Bulls were kind of taking a chance on the potential that was realized. He definitely gave us the best that he could with as far as his scoring output and his athleticism, all of those things. He's someone who came back strong from his injury. But with injury, teams are always going to be skeptical about the value that they get from a player that they thought could potentially be an impact on their team. And so I think the value and the stock for Zach Lavine, when he comes back, obviously for next year, being on the Bulls, is going to kind of take a hit. And that's unfortunate, because I think the Bulls are going in a direction where they want to kind of make this team or build this team around Coby White as that core piece now going forward. He's young. He's obviously putting up better scoring outputs. He's a better all-around player with the rebounds and the assists. And so this news is just kind of bad, and it's sour at the wrong time. I believe that the Bulls organization has to figure out a way to just get as much as possible for Zach Lavine in the future. But just specifically talking about this breaking news, it is unfortunate for him. You saw when he went down in the game, when he rolled over his ankle or his foot. You saw him throwing the towel in anger. I mean, it has to be frustrating to work your way back initially from the initial injury. I believe that took him out for about a good 2 weeks, I believe was the last time. And you saw that the Bulls improved in their play, their style, their pace, everything that they were running through Coby White and the other guys. But to come back and then to get re-injured and then find out that it is a season-ending injury, that's that can be that can take a hit to your mental. So you know, of course, you want the best for Zach Lavine. Zach Lavine has always been a tireless worker. You've seen off-season workouts in the past of him working along with his dad and just putting in the time and the effort to be the best version of himself. And so I don't think that there's any question that he's going to come back fully healthy and strong after those 4 to 6 months. But as far as just the overall spectrum of what the Bulls will do now going forward, they just have to continue to improve as a team. Without Zach Lavine on the floor, they have to continue to play and find that new identity that they've been playing like for the past 2 months. And I think that that's what they have to do. You know, as Ayo Dosunmu always said, next man up. You know, you stay ready so you don't have to get ready. That's what he always said. So that's what this team has to do now with Zach Lavine going down, and they have to play better. I believe that maybe there might be a market for Zach Lavine going forward, but you just never know. It's unfortunate. But just to kind of go over the numbers, it's interesting. He's only played, he last played January 18th. And he's only played in 25 games in 2023-24. He's averaged a little under 20 points, 19.5 points a game, 5.2 rebounds, and 3.9 assists in those games. So those are numbers. Obviously, those are lower numbers than what Zach Lavine has put up in most seasons with the Bulls when he's at his best. So you know what Zach Lavine can give you. But I just think that coming back from injury, this is going to take a toll probably on, like I said, his trade value. And depending on what teams would probably want him next year, we'll have to see. Or is there a possible slight chance? I don't see it, but is there a possible slight chance that the Bulls can find a way to implement him in that new core where he kind of takes a back seat? Kind of like what DeMar DeRozan is doing now, where I believe in the last game, he only took about a good number of shot attempts, but you saw that the ball was moving around and that it was catered towards Kobe White. It was catered towards Ayo Dosunmu. They fed Vooch a little bit more in the paint. They were working through him, the big man and the point guard, which is kind of how they want to go about business now. And so I think that, you know, because Zach Lavine has been the subject of talks for quite a while now, those talks are probably going to die out. And that's the reason why, you know, the Bulls are probably going to stand pat. It was frustrating to hear that news that, maybe they were just talking about, sticking to playing and being consistent and sticking to the continuity, theme in a sense. But I think this is the reason why they probably are going to stand pat, because the medical staff probably knew ahead of time that this news was going to eventually get out. And, unfortunately, this is something that all players have to go through. Injury is part of the game, and it's just unfortunate. But let me know how you guys feel. I'll be down there with you in the conversation section below. And how do you feel about Zach Lavine's stock, his value? Do you think that it's pretty much at its lowest peak? Zach Lavine is a hard worker and he's going to come back strong from this. But as far as him being of any trade value, what do you think you can get back if you're the GM of the Bulls and going into next year? Do you think that you can get anything of decent value? You know you're not going to get anything of equal value, let alone anybody that's going to be that pivotal or impactful, but maybe a role player, maybe a savvy vet that can come in and mentor the younger players and be maybe someone who's experienced the playoffs, maybe been on a championship team or gotten to the finals, been on a championship team. Those are the type of players you would probably want if you're talking about the value that you're going to get back now for Zach Lavine. It's unfortunate, but again, I will be down there with you in the comment section. And as always, show some class on this video. Comment, like, and subscribe. Share this video with others, and I'll see you guys on the next ATS report.